Welcome to Behind the Breach, the channel where we break down real cyber attacks, security failures, and the human decisions that made them possible. Today we're looking at MFA Fatigue, a surprisingly simple attack that has helped criminals breach major organizations, compromise corporate networks, and bypass one of the most common security controls in the world. We'll explore how the attack works, why it is so effective, and what organizations are doing to stop it. Because sometimes the weakest link isn't the technology, it's human nature. At 3:12 in the morning, a Fortune 500 employee received their 27th MFA notification of the night. Half asleep, they tapped approve. That single tap helped hackers breach one of the world's biggest companies. For the last decade, cybersecurity experts gave businesses a golden rule. If you want to stop the overwhelming majority of cyber attacks, enable multi-factor authentication. Businesses spent millions. They deployed corporate policies, enforced complex passwords, and rolled out mandatory MFA to every employee. They felt safe. But hackers didn't give up. They simply stopped attacking the code and started attacking the exhausted human behind it. Welcome to the reality of MFA fatigue. An attack so simple it transforms your strongest security control into a weapon against your own employees. To understand how we got here, we need to understand how authentication evolved. In the early days, passwords were enough, until passwords started leaking by the millions. So the industry added a second layer, SMS verification codes. But attackers adapted quickly. SIM swapping attacks allowed criminals to hijack phone numbers and intercept authentication codes. Hardware security keys were far more secure, but employees hated carrying them everywhere. The industry needed a compromise between ironclad security and everyday convenience. Enter push notifications. One tap on your smartphone and you're logged in. It was fast, elegant, seemingly foolproof. But in cybersecurity, convenience almost always creates opportunity. Deploying MFA across an entire business sounds simple in theory. In reality, it becomes a constant battle between security and usability. IT departments face endless resistance from frustrated employees trying to get their work done. This creates something security teams call security friction. The constant interruption of proving your identity dozens of times every single day. To reduce complaints and improve productivity, many organizations chose the most seamless experience possible. Passive push notifications. No codes, no verification steps, no context. Just a simple pop-up asking, "Are you trying to log in?" Over time, employees became psychologically conditioned to approve these prompts automatically, not because they were careless, but because their brains were trained to treat security like an annoying. Here's how the attack actually works. The attacker obtains valid employee credentials from a phishing attack or dark web marketplace. The attacker attempts to log in using the stolen username and password. The company's MFA system sends a verification request to the employee's phone. At first, the security control works perfectly, but the attacker doesn't stop. They automate the login attempts. Again, and again, and again. The employee declines the first prompt. Then another appears, then another. Within minutes, the phone becomes impossible to ignore. This is known as MFA bombing. It's 3 in the morning. The employee is exhausted, disoriented, frustrated. They're not thinking about a sophisticated cyber attack. They just want the noise to stop. And in that single moment, the attacker wins. Once inside, attackers don't immediately launch ransomware. That would trigger alarms. Instead, they move quietly. They register trusted devices, establish persistence, escalate privileges, and begin draining sensitive corporate data while appearing as a perfectly authenticated employee. This exact tactic was used during the September 2022 Uber breach and May 2022 Cisco network intrusion. So how do organizations defend against an attack that exploits human psychology instead of software vulnerabilities? The answer is moving from passive approval to active validation. The first major defense is number matching. Instead of blindly tapping approve, employees must match a number displayed on their computer screen. That tiny extra step completely breaks the automatic approval reflex attackers depend on. Second, context-aware authentication. If a login request appears from another country while your employee is asleep at home, your system should block it automatically before the notification ever reaches their device. And ultimately, the future is phishing-resistant authentication. Technologies like FIDO2 and passkeys bind authentication directly to the physical device in front of the user. No passwords, no SMS codes, no blind approval prompts. MFA is not dead. But passive push notifications alone are no longer enough, because security only works when it accounts for human behavior. Protect your employees, modernize your authentication strategy, and stop fatigue attacks before they become your next breach. If you found this breakdown valuable, subscribe for more deep dives into modern cyber defense, digital psychology, and the real-world attacks shaping enterprise security. Stay secure.